What's up, y'all? Marcus Boyd, Appliance Marketing OG. Welcome to the first episode, Appliance Success Underground. Anyway, I was supposed to have a guest on today, but real life happened, right? That's what this podcast is all about, is real world life. My guest had to cancel or whatever. Not sure what happened. But anyway, couldn't leave y'all hanging. Didn't want to disappoint. Definitely want to come in here, drop some value, tell you a little bit about me, what we do or whatever, and what's going on. Real conversations for appliance owners, appliance business repair owners, appliance stores. That's what we're here for, right? So looking to hear from people that's got an interesting story. Somebody that came from nothing. I would love to talk to people that came from nothing, and has had success. I would love to hear the story. That's what I'm here for. I decided to do a podcast. I got to do more video, right? We're in 2026 right now. Video is huge. Marketing's huge. This is the best way to get in front of your audience, of course, is video. And I didn't really want to do a boring marketing points and here's some. Now, I will be bringing my team in and stuff, to be able to give y'all value and to be able to zero in on the Google ads and whatever, Facebook ads and SEO, branding. We'll talk about whatever, all the marketing stuff, right? And so anyway, that's I didn't want to do just a boring, hey, this is what you do to rank better on Google. That's just boring. Y'all can watch that on any other marketing channel, whatever. But anyway, I'm more here to have real conversations because I know that this is something that I enjoy doing. I know I can stay consistent with it. So anyway, that's why I kind of picked this method or whatever. I recommend everybody go start a podcast. Like I said, we're in 2026. What I'm going to be doing with it is I'm going to be taking it. Of course, I'm going to get some views and stuff and definitely hope to add loads of value, but I'm going to take it and cut it up into reels too and have solid little 30, 60-second clips of value and knowledge for you guys. And of course, real world scenarios, right? So anyway, just want to kind of let you know that's what this is. And this is what we're jumping into. So first episode, where I come from, I kind of want to talk about my story a little bit and let you know how it has pretty much how my life has evolved and changed all through the Lord, right? Offering so many opportunities and giving me the will to be able to chase things and not say no to the opportunities. So anyway, where I come from, I really started from doing multiple trades when I was young. Tell you what, my first job, super value, was working at the grocery store bagging groceries. Whatever. I was super young, didn't have no cash, needed to buy some clothes, right? So anyway, had to buy some shoes, needed some new boots. So I got a job, and then past that, I worked at a nail salon for a little bit, right? So just sweeping up, cleaning up. Yeah, learned how to do pedicures, right? So I was a hustler from when I was young. Always, was interested in making money and really just having what I needed to have, basically, out of survival too. So anyway, I got into electrical work, got into being an HVAC helper. I got into plumbing with my dad, worked with him for a summer. That was cool. Definitely had some good times. Anyway, then as I went on, um, I found my wife, right? I was doing iron work on the road. Me and my wife started chatting on Facebook, hit it off. And so I told her when I get done out in the world or whatever with this job, I think we was in San Antonio building an airplane hangar. I said, I'm gonna come back to you and I'm never gonna leave again. And that's what I did. We started dating. I never went back on the road. So I found a job locally and really started out super low, $10 an hour. Was not making much money, but hey, I was with family, my new family, right? So that was awesome. And then so cut to uh I had a friend that got me a job working in the oil field or whatever, doing some electronics, doing some hydraulics and mechanical stuff in the shop. And as you know, in the oil field, well, some of you may not know, but in the South, as we know, right, oil field can go down and things can get rough. And that's exactly what happened. I got laid off. So I had 10K, cashed it in my 401k, decided to move back up North Louisiana, where I'm from, and from South Louisiana. And then so I started looking on Indeed.com, looking for jobs, right? And I ran across Sears, A&E, and I was looking at appliance repair. I was like, my God, dude, I didn't even know you could repair appliances. I thought them things was the case. I didn't even know you could get into them. So I thought I literally thought that they were disposable. I thought you just go get you a new one whenever they break. I hadn't had much life experience by that point. So anyway, I took the job. That was exciting to me. Cool. I like doing stuff with my hands. So, right. I took the job. That was awesome. That went great for about, I'd say, 6 months. And then my entrepreneurial mind set back in because, well, let me take a step back real quick. I'd started a couple little quick businesses. I had started a sod business with my friend, and it didn't work out. We quit the first day, said, no, we hit rocks and shells whenever we was digging. So we said, no, we ain't gonna do that. Whatever. We quit the business or whatever. So that didn't work out. Then past that, I started a pallet furniture business, right? That thing didn't work out either. But anyway, my entrepreneurial mind kicked back in, right? Right as I was working with Sears and I started that pallet company, pallet furniture business, and it worked great for like a month or two. But I didn't really do very well. It was super niche. And I didn't know how to find my customers at that point. Facebook wasn't really social media, Google, it wasn't really a big deal back then. It was a lot of word of mouth. So, I mean, I'm sure it was. I just had no clue about it at this point, right? I thought that you had to go buy new appliances if yours broke. So, anyways, um, moved on, started that little business. It crashed miserably. So, whatever. Sears let me come back to him. My boss did. Shout out Steve. Appreciate you. He let me come back. And so I was back working on appliances for Sears, running a route, running from the Mississippi line all the way to the Texas line, right? So with that right there, I got tired of it. I was out late, midnight, running calls for somebody that didn't care about me. When I went to school training for for Sears, they told me, dude, you're not gonna get a raise anytime soon. I was making like 17.50 an hour, maybe something like that. You're not getting a raise anytime soon. The best way to make more money is to sell warranties and stuff. So get good at that. And I was like, all right, well, cool, whatever. And so that was the case. There was literally no way to level up with Sears. So I really got frustrated with that, running her out for them, not making much money. My wife was a daycare teacher, dude. She wasn't making no money either. With two kids, two dogs, rent was expensive, of course. I think back then was a lot. $1,000 a month was huge for us. And we had debt, old debt, life had happened to us. We made bad money decisions, right? Like everybody does when they're young and we landed in a bind, right? I was working at Sears, man, got down on my luck, made a bad decision, moved into a trailer house I shouldn't have, and then it ended up being unhealthy for us, so we moved out. And anyway, moved in with somebody that really didn't work out. And then past that, we ended up in a camper trailer, bro, and like in my dad's front yard. My dad let us live in this camper trailer, right? Super hard times for me. Anyway, crazy stuff. That was tough. But my brother-in-law, he came by one day and he was like, we were sitting in my Sears van. He said, let me show you something, man. So we went out there, sit in my Sears van, smoke one. I was smoking one, talk to him. He was showing me this presentation on his computer and he was telling me about all this money that I could make or whatever. And I'm like, what is this, dude? And he was like, life insurance. I said, well, cool. I can make good money with it. He said, yeah, I'm making good money with it. It's doing great for me. And I'm learning a lot about business and stuff too. So I said, well, I'm in, dude. So just sign me up. And so I learned a presentation. I started selling. I was selling warranties for Sears and I got pretty damn good at it. So I enjoyed sales because number one, you can make more money. But other than that, there's no other feeling like somebody telling you, yeah, they want to do business with you on something that you've presented to them. So that's a big deal. So anyway, I started selling insurance, and I was still working for Sears. So they was like, I was in every house. I was prospected. So I was like, yo, after the repair was finished, cool, awesome. It's finished up. Look, I'd ask them like, you got any life insurance? As I was talking to them, because I was always real good with talking to people while I was working on appliances, right? I was learning and they were learning and whatever. It was a good experience. That's what I loved about being in the home the most is just the customer experience where you get to talk back and forth with them and really build connections. But through building these connections, I would ask them if they had life insurance and whatever, or what they did for a living, right? I'd try to recruit them. And so, some I did. Well, then I started getting calls in the office, and my boss told me, "Hey, dude, you got to cut that out. You can't be selling out there unless you're selling what we sell." And I was like, "Oh, cool." Well, that was the one point to where I was like, "These dudes are gonna limit me on my time. I can't be with my family, and then they ain't gonna let me sell in the house." Of course, I knew I wasn't supposed to, but dude, I got to do something, right? So I hit it so hard, selling insurance, recruiting people. Me and my brother-in-law, we really hit it hard. Had some good leadership too. I started getting into some Tony Robbins and Grant Cardone, man, and really started changing the way my mind was thinking because I'm from small town USA, right? Little town called Gina, Louisiana, where ain't nobody, yeah, ain't many people there thinking big. And so when I got around these millionaires, right? I got invited on these trips with these millionaires and really just sinking into them and self-improvement. I was listening to an hour to freaking 5 hours a day of podcast and things on YouTube, really trying to change my mindset, books, audio books and things like that, reading books. And then so the insurance, man, the insurance got me to where I could quit Sears for like 3 months. And of course, I failed miserably. I did good for the first month where I quit my job, made enough, but I didn't put no money back, you know. Of course, I didn't. My mentor told me whenever I quit my job, hey, put some money back. And I still tell people to this day, that was one of my biggest mistakes is not putting any money back whenever I went on my own, dude. I struggled my ass off. Now, I wouldn't change it now, but dude, I put my family through so much. They struggled, I struggled, horrible mindset. That was really hard. So I wish I would have saved up some money, but I didn't, right? And so I went back to work. Since selling insurance didn't work out full time, I went back to work, man. Went back to work in a used appliance shop down in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I appreciated the opportunity, man. And dude would let me work. Shout out Matt. Appreciate you, bro. Yeah, so anyway, dude let me work as many hours as I could, you know. And I was in there and I was working, but I really had them headphones in my head. I had my mentors in my head and whatever. I was listening to self-improvements, right? So I was trying to get back to out in the world, you know. I was trying to get back to my entrepreneurial spirit was like letting me out. I was back here in the shop working, man, and just had my head down and working for somebody else. Now I was making good money at this point. I thought I was doing great, you know. It was definitely enough and I appreciated it because it was the most money I had ever made. $20 an hour cash. I was working, he would let me work like I think it was 10-hour days or something I would work weekends if he'd let me. Like I was all in, right? Had to stack some cash, and I didn't really know what I was gonna do with it. But my homeboy Dre in the back, we always worked together and we was always thinking, always collaborating. We both wanted to go out on our own. And so the move was appliance repair, right? He was digging into warranty work and learning about warranty work. And I really wasn't. I was looking at some Google stuff and I was looking at some social media stuff, but what I didn't really know what I wanted to do, really. I mean, appliance repair, maybe, but I knew I didn't love working on appliances, and I did love the insurance sales a little bit more, honestly. So anyway, I went ahead and stacked my money up, and Dre came to me one day and he was like, "Hey, I'm going out on my own." I said, "All right, that's awesome, man. Congratulations. Tell me about it." And he told me he found a lead generation company and that he was able to get some calls in the area. So I was super excited for him, man. But I was like, man, like I gotta go too. Like I gotta find a way, you know. So I started getting into the groups. Like this is when I first found Appliance Pro Talk group, right? Awesome. So I get in there. There's so many resources and there's so many people helping people. Is awesome, right? And this was awesome to see other guys like me that were struggling with a lot of the things I was struggling with too, right? So Dre had this contract and Dre was going out on his own. And I couldn't figure out a way. I looked through lead generation companies, talked to a couple of them, but they all wanted a lot of money to start out. But this one particular one didn't want a whole lot starting out. So when it came time for him to, whatever, not, or in this case, to go out on his own, to not go out on his own because he had changed his mind. I think he really wanted the security. I can't remember the exact reason why, but it was definitely a big decision for him to go out on his own. I feel like at that time he might have had a lot to lose or something like that. And so, anyways, I ended up asking him if I could look, can I pay you to release because they were exclusive. They would only work with certain people, right? I was like, hey, dude, I'll give you some cash if you drop that contract. And he did. He dropped or whatever it was, the paperwork on told him he didn't want to work with him no more. So I could pick it up. And I did. I picked it up. I started running calls, man. I quit my job. Appliances started taking off. I hired a refrigeration technician. I wasn't a fridge tech to run the fridge calls. And they started coming in, son. And that was when I made like, I think my first month or 2 months, I made like 10 bands. So I was like, come on, bro. Like this changed my life already. So I was already like buying things and like whatever. Yeah, whatever. So, going out to dinner, taking people out to dinner, and like, yeah, having a good time, right? And then it hit me, boom, shit, parts are due. Oh, I gotta pay for parts, right? So, oh man, whatever. Oh, I gotta live like not very good for a week or two because I got to stack some cash and then boom, get that money back up. I go spend it again, things that a lot of us do starting out. I came from nothing. I came from broke, right? So a little bit of something. I wanted to do something with it and wrong way to live. I'll say that now. Looking back, I wish I would have stacked some cash again. Anyways, past that, man, that was awesome. Um, anyway, I brought my brother-in-law and my sister on board, asked them to come work with me. And then we all decided, hey, like, let's move to North Carolina. Like, let's go start this giant business out there. We'll hit the Triangle, Raleigh, Fayetteville, Charlotte, and we'll just build this giant business. Well, we got up there and I'm still paying the same lead generation company. At this point, I needed whatever. I needed some calls up there. So we get up there and I couldn't really get enough of the right kind of calls coming in. I was getting calls, but they weren't as qualified of leads. I don't know what happened or whatever, but it was tougher. So we got a couple more lead generation companies, but they cost more money. And like I wasn't making very low profit, right? So I would make a bunch of money coming in, but the profit was super low. So at the end of the day, like I was taking losses. That first year, I took a big loss. So it didn't work out. The appliance repair business, I couldn't figure out how to get calls coming in. At that point, I was dealing with lead generation, so I needed money now, and I didn't have any cash stacked back. So like every dollar counted. Like it was super scary thinking about it. Like we didn't have any money. We didn't have any solid, like literally the calls that I was going to run, I was giving the money right back. I wasn't making any money. So that was really tough for me. And then all of a like, well, not all of a sudden, we looked up and about a week out, we said, "Hey, man, we got to give this one more shot," and we did. It didn't work. We ended up crashing the business out. My brother-in-law and my sister, they went work for somebody else or whatever. And then anyway, before I forget this, Dre did go out on his own, by the way, and is crushing it right now. Got a nice shop. My friend Dre, he's a business owner now. He didn't halt himself forever. He went out on his own too shortly after I did. And so anyway, he's crushing it. We'll get to his story soon, I'm sure. But anyway, yeah. So back to us crashing the appliance repair business. We crashed it. Um, so I zeroed everything out and then started the new business, but we started it by strictly starting out with Facebook. I went into all the neighborhood groups. I would literally drive around, look for street signs or whatever, look for the neighborhood signs, the big brick pillars with the neighborhood signs. I pull over, write the name down, or go into Facebook and go ahead and add myself to the group, tell them I lived in the neighborhood, whatever to get me through. And so I did that for a couple of weeks, and so really just and I was hitting Marketplace too. I could do some advertising and on Marketplace on Facebook too. So that was helpful. And then so I was also slinging some appliances on the side. I was getting appliances from Marketplace and selling them back on Marketplace, right? And Facebook and the groups on Facebook. Because by then I had kind of building up a audience there on Facebook and stuff. So at the same time, I called up. I was in a bind. Remember, I just crashed a business. I was stealing electricity, plugging into the neighbor's house at night, running the heater, running the extension cord to my heater in my house in the living room, and us all bundled up to stay warm. Man, it was tough times. stealing food from the grocery store. Not proud of it, but I did it. I borrowed all the money I could from family and friends, to pay rent and to pay whatever utilities and just be able to live, man. So truly, truly struggling. So that's the point that I was at, to where I did what I had to do. I did what I did. I'm not proud of it again, but yo, that's what we did. And so past that, it was pretty tough for sure. But once that Facebook started kicking in, once Google Business Profile, right? I got it verified there. And actually within the first 3 months, I started climbing up to the top three of the maps, because I was so dialed in on SEO and I was doing it fast. I was just staying up all night, man, on the computer. I'd run two or three calls from Marketplace or whatever, or from whatever, from Facebook groups. Also, I called up and I got hooked up with one of the local guys, needed me to run some calls for him. He paid me 30%. I did good for him, sold some awesome jobs for him, and then he paid me, bumped me up to 50%. So I was making 50% of every repair. So now I have some cash cooking, right? I could throw some money into marketing. So that's what I was doing, running some ads, throwing some Google ads, Facebook ads, throwing money into marketing, uh, throwing money into a website, got somebody else to build me a professional website. I didn't know how to do it then. So moving on past that, calls started coming in. I started getting some calls, man, and things really started changing for me. I met a customer that had an awesome rent house, right? So we was able to get from across the tracks. We was able to get out in the country to where I could actually take a breath, and things wasn't crazy and kind of weird at home. And so things really started looking up. Cash flow was moving, and I got super excited about like being in a hole of like being excuse me, probably gonna have to bleep that out, but being so like broke and so hurt and like dude, I had been hustling for a couple of years, and not getting anywhere. It felt like I was just struggling still at this point. Like, so being able to get calls coming in and be able to take my family back home to Louisiana for a visit finally for the first time in like a couple of years was amazing. And really just being able to live a normal life, having money for bills, dude, paying off some debts. Like, that's what appliance repair did for me. Like, that's what ranking in Google Maps did for me. That's what whatever, Facebook groups, Facebook ads, Google ads, like that's what it did for me. Like it did for me. So that's why I got so excited about the opportunity about winning with Facebook, right? With Google. Like that's dude, I just got super passionate about the results. And as back to the Facebook groups, as I was scrolling Facebook groups, I would just see so many people struggling, like, and honestly, in despair, freaking out because I've seen their businesses crashing just like mine just did, and I'm reaching out, and I'm trying to help them or whatever, but can't really do nothing but kind of tell them what I did. So from that point, I really wanted to start helping people. So I started doing some work for free, man. I started doing helping appliance repair businesses, HVAC business, electrical businesses, helping them for free, doing marketing for them, and then of course paid as we went. And then I was able to charge for my services because I was able to get some results, right? So that right there was huge for me. So I jumped into marketing, man, appliance repair business. I started subbing the workout. Started subbing it out, giving it to other techs that have their own business, and then them give me a percentage of it to where I didn't have to touch anything. They go out, they collect. I just book the calls basically, right? So then, of course, whatever. Then I started selling leads to appliance repair companies too. So because that was working on for my appliance repair business, I was pretty much just selling leads anyway at this point, subbing the workout. So I started selling the leads. And it worked well or whatever, but same situation that I was in before other people was getting in. It wasn't really helping them. The leads were expensive for me, so I had to charge them whatever it cost, and then I had to make money. And by then, kind of screwed. Like, so they're not making no money. I can't make money like that for long. So I had to shift again, right? So then we just opened up marketing. We started doing marketing, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We'll do your video editing, things like that. We started with that, and then we jumped into SEO, right? Website building. And then so anyway, that was awesome. Started really getting some clients. Things really started going well for us on the marketing side as well. But past that, I really wanted to, and honestly, I started shifting into appliance repair, and then I shifted back to home service businesses because I wanted whatever to be able to help all types of businesses, not just appliance repair, right? And then that was awesome, but now like I zone in and niche and really serve you guys, so I can serve you guys to the best of my ability. Appliance repair businesses, appliance stores, whatever, you scratch and dent, whatever you're selling, right? So your services. So anyway, I really wanted to help out there. And so I thought that that was really big for me. So now we have niched back down appliance marketing OG, right? Not multiple, well, actually multiplied digital marketing still exists. So if you still have friends that are in other home service type businesses, hey, send them over. We're still working with those clients and crushing for them. But I wanted to get zeroed in with you guys. So whatever. I'm part of the associations now, and I'm really trying to give you guys as much value as possible, give as much away. I've been doing a bunch of audits and stuff, like going in and checking out how you're ranking and Google why they're ranked, like why people are ranking or whatever, what's doing them good, why they're not ranking, looking at the websites, looking at branding, looking at logos and how they could really stand out. Which brings me, of course, to like, that's why I'm here is because I've been out in the home service industry doing marketing and stuff for like electricians, plumbers, soft wash, what else? I mean, dude, we've done so many niches. Yeah, anyways, all kinds of home service businesses, concrete, right? So while I was out in that world, I even checked out this cool home service event, man, and just consuming people's content in other industries. I strongly recommend y'all do that. Like, strongly recommend you zero in, watch other people's content, follow people outside of appliance repair and whatever appliance store industry because there's so much out there that we're being missed on, like brands, like branding, logos, mascots, like for instance, the cereal box method or whatever they put cereal boxes right there in front of your kids' face. They're not eye level, right? With you, they're eye level with all their kids, all the mascots, all the big branding, the big banners, and colorful and fun, and it stands out to the kids. Like, dude, we've been missed on all that. Like most of our market is women. Who's riding around with the women? The kids, right? So, I mean, that's one thing that we're missing. I'm not seeing any brands that you go down the road and you're like, oh my God, or your kids in the back tapping like, Dad, did you see that one? No, it's not like that in appliance repair. So that's one thing that I'm seeing that we're before we even get into marketing and advertising talk and all that, like let's get the brand right because you're gonna get the best return on your investment when you get the brand right, when you get the logo right, when you get the wraps the right in, right? When you get your signage simplified and to where it stands out and where it's super professional. Yeah, to where you take off all the extra symbols and all the off extra words off of your van, right? To where you quit riding down the road with white van syndrome. They missed us on all that. Like we taught that. I don't know why. But yeah, I mean, so there's so much information on branding out. I don't know. I mean, everybody's been talking about marketing and advertising and stuff for years, and that's awesome. But I think that branding really is where we missing it. So I've been studying brands like crazy, and now like honestly, and I was doing it for fun at first, building logos and stuff, and having illustrators draw them for me, and so I actually got a system and a branding process that's super fun. So we really dial in on the brand because yeah, I mean that's the thing everybody sees when you're driving down the road 55 miles per hour, 65 miles per hour. You want people to look over and be like, "Dang, that's cool." And like get on their phone and Google you, right? They're not gonna call you. They're probably gonna Google you, check you out, and you're locked in their memory. So that's some things I definitely want to bring back to the table, coming back in appliance repair, on the marketing side. And past that, man, I really want to bring some solid people in to be able to interview and to get their story. A lot of people's got interesting stories out there, man. So I really want to, yeah, meet some of you guys. So I need guests and I need guests to show up, right? So I don't have to interview myself. This was totally on a whim, but you know what? I promised y'all content. I told you I was gonna come in and the dropping this Friday, and it's dropping this Friday. So I was not planning on doing this, but I really appreciate y'all coming in. If y'all have any questions for me, drop them in the comments. Hit me up. Yeah, hit me up on, yeah, you can hit me up on appliancemarketingog.com. You can hit me up on Facebook, Marcus-Jocelyn Boyd. And yeah, let me know what y'all want to hear me talk about. If y'all have somebody that you think that has a super interesting story, somebody that may be a little controversial in the groups or something like that, somebody that's interesting. I want to talk to interesting people. I want to talk to successful people. So look, drop them in the comments if you don't mind. Yeah, shoot me a DM, whatever. I appreciate y'all coming in. I appreciate y'all letting me talk to you. And yeah, have a good day, man. Go crush you Friday and have a good weekend.